You're listening to the Things of That Nature podcast. Coming to you from a city that never sleeps is me, your host, Roxana. I invite you to join me in truly honest, passionate, and fun talks that motivate, invigorate, and maybe inspire. Even though we're no longer in the mile high, the sky is still the limit. Everything and anything goes. So let's start talking about things of that nature.
Hey everyone, thanks for tuning into this episode of the Things of That Nature podcast. I'm your host, Roxana, and today I have someone who I'm really excited for because she understands the name struggle. Not a struggle, but she understands our name. Our names are very similar. I've been called your name, actually, thinking about it.
Really?
Yes, I have.
I could see that happening because they're very similar.
Yeah, very similar. And we are in the same world, the same realm. I'm very excited to talk with her. So today's guest, everyone, is Roxanne Gould. Hi, Roxanne.
Hi, Roxana.
I'm so excited to talk to you today. And yeah, I'm just excited. I'm excited to talk to most of my guests because it's like you're somewhere else, only if the stars aligned would we have been able to speak for whatever reason. It would probably be something like work related or networking, but this is just pure fun.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
So where in the world are you?
A good question. That's my question to you as well. It shows how fresh we're starting, right? Blank slate here. I am in Sarasota, Florida. And you?
Sarasota, Florida. Ooh, I'm in Vegas. I got out here in Vegas about a year ago and I'm loving it.
Wow. A year you've been there already. So you know that you like it. That's a long time.
Yes. I know I like it. How long have you been in Florida?
I can't believe it'll be 5 years this summer. It's like, wow. So yeah, it's a very nice place. A lot of art, clean air. It's beautiful. So yeah, I like it here.
You like
it?
It's
different than Las Vegas, which is arid and more of a desert climate. But you said that you and I are from the same world, and so you're anxious to talk to me. And so what is your world?
The world of modeling.
Okay, so you model in Vegas. I did not know that.
Yes. I've been modeling since I was like 9.
What?
Uh-huh. My mom did the whole pay for the whole model school thing for me and then pageant world and just the fun stuff. And I love it. And then I did the whole dance and theater and speaking. And now I recycled myself back to modeling.
How tall are you?
I am 5'7".
Ooh, okay. You just slid in.
Yes. But I have really long legs. So that's how I'm able to squeeze my way into around the corner and be like, hey. I may be 5'7", but look at long my legs are.
Especially with these high heels.
Yes.
Oh, good for you. Good for you. And I bet there's a lot in Vegas that you can do, right? I bet you're busy with that.
I am. Vegas has opened up a lot. I was living in Denver, which didn't have as much, which made me want to move to Vegas. And I made the decision of, if I'm going to pursue dance and modeling and entertainment world in general, I needed to be somewhere close enough to where the industry is, whether that was going back to New York or continuing on to the West Coast. And so that's how I ended up in Vegas. And there's so much that's been happening. I've done a lot within the year that I did in the 6 years I was living in Denver. So I'm excited. I think my drive also, because I made a decision, has just been pushing.
It sounds like you're very dedicated.
Yeah, when I have my mind to something, I don't know if it's dedicated or stubborn, but it works.
How about tenacious? You're very tenacious.
Let's do that. How long have you been, or where was your start?
I was born in Hollywood, California. I'm a West Coast girl. Mm-hmm. And my mother was in the business and she had this job where she was going to act in a bear aspirin commercial. And it was the year that Bayer Aspirin came out with children's aspirin. And, that was back in the day when things were a lot different in the industry. And so the director said, you know what, I think we're going to need a child in this commercial. And she said, oh, I've got one. So I was in a Bayer Aspirin commercial when I was 3. And my mother never really pushed me. She wasn't one of those mothers that thought, I should spend my childhood trying to perform. So fortunately, I had a regular childhood, climbing trees and, roller skating, that kind of thing. And I decided as a teenager that I wanted to begin modeling. So since then, I've been modeling. So I had the second longest modeling career in the industry. There's only one other woman who's been modeling longer than I have in the whole industry worldwide. So I'm kind of proud of that title. I've learned how to survive in the industry.
That's amazing. That's a very congratulations to have that kind of title. That's amazing.
Yeah, thank you very much. I think you can appreciate that.
Yes, I do.
Yeah, being a model yourself, it's tough competition and trends change and clients can be fickle. So not to mention, I've changed over the years too, physically. So it's quite an accomplishment. Or actually, you know what I think it is? I think it's a blessing. It's timing that I just happen to be born at a time when our society is starting to recognize diversity and that there's more to how people look than just what we thought, and we're inclusive. We're shining a light on all types of people. Like I say, we're diversifying. It's the industry, the fashion industry is right on that train and we are moving forward. And so I represent the older aging woman. And I'm so proud to do that, to show women that you can still be relevant when you're older. You can still have a little zhuzh and look and feel good. And, you can show up in the world as you like and still be confident. So it's quite a statement that I also take, that I'm proud that I can bring forward.
I like that. I think that in anything anyone does,
yes,
and especially, I don't mean to be biased, everybody, but especially in modeling where you're literally letting people judge you based off of what you're wearing, whatever you look like.
Right.
For you to have that confidence and just be like, no, I'm making a statement. I may be wearing a gown that someone else designed, but I'm still making a statement for all the women like me. And all the women with the gray hair and the older generation, feel good, look good, be who you are. All about it.
Right. Exactly. It's not just the individual, what we do affects everybody. And so, I look at it more than just modeling. It is a statement and hopefully I can inspire women.
Yes. And, it's so funny. And I tell my friends who don't model I'm like, oh man, I have a shoot today. I'm so excited. And then after it, I'm like, oh, I'm exhausted. And they're like, what'd you do? You just stood around and took pictures. And I'm like, oh, no. There's so much more to it.
There's so much more to it. I mean, the energy we put out, constantly smiling or constantly moving or constantly focusing on what we're trying to accomplish. It's intense. It's exhausting. Not to mention, interacting with strangers, right? Every photo shoot different group of people, different team, right?
Yep, it's totally different.
Yeah.
Now, you lived in Europe, am I correct?
I did. I went over there for just to build my portfolio, and it was so. I had the look that they liked, and so I thought I'm not leaving because I was booked all the time, and I thought my career would be short-lived, right? So I thought, okay, I'm just going to keep modeling here. I'm going to ride this train till it gets to the station, but it just kept going. And I was a jet setter, and 10 years passed before I knew it. I spoke French, I spoke German, and I married an Austrian.
Wow, a lot changed. What brought you back?
A lot did change. I wanted to raise my children in America. I wanted them to have an American passport. So be American citizens. That was what I had decided back in the 90s. And times have changed. I don't know if I would have decided the same thing today, but that's what I did then. So I came back to have my kids. Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's a good reason.
Yeah. Yeah.
It is. Now, with the transition, if you didn't model, what would your career be?
If I didn't model,
Yes.
yeah, I would teach. I would, you know how I'm trying to inspire with my photos in a way that's kind of like teaching women to, it's kind of like little lessons that I pass along with each photo. I never said it like that before, but in a way it is, because there's something to learn when someone looks at an image. It can provoke a feeling, it can create a sensation. And so if I didn't model, I would still want to do that. Now, when I came back, I opened a modeling school where I taught teenage girls how to build their self-esteem through modeling. And I loved it. That it was a type of teaching. And I did that for 10 years and it ran successfully. And I had a lot of fun. I would have summer camps or weekend intensives or one-on-ones and create fashion shows with them and help, build their portfolio by organizing photo shoots. And it was a lot of fun. These girls, I just loved them like daughters. And some of them were still friends today. It was just really a wonderful time. And I stopped that when I moved to Florida. And people still, they'll read about me and they'll call me up and they'll say, I've got a daughter. Can you please work with her? And, I can't refuse it. It's like, she's somebody's daughter. Of course I'll work with her. Come on. So anyway, that's what I would do. Yeah.
Oh, that's nice. It's like, it's sharing the gift.
Yeah.
And I love the, a self-esteem.
Yes.
Because it is something that needs to be taught and not everyone has it.
Exactly. I don't know why we're not born with it. Maybe it's early conditioning or society, what they say about women. I mean, we're fighting that upward battle constantly, but I love how the movies today or Netflix will have the protagonist be a female who's the victor. I mean, I love it. We have really strong female figures in movies that are being made today. And that just is so encouraging that I know that these young girls are going to be watching these characters and, be empowered by that.
Yes.
Yes. It's a good time. We're headed toward the right way, I think, where women are starting to be more equal and their voice is being respected. I think that is so important.
Yes. And I think it starts off with understanding and knowing that you have a voice yourself. When I used to speak.
That is so true. Yes.
Yes. When I used to speak and I visited a school back in Denver and I did a talk. And then afterwards, I usually do like a smaller group, intimate setting rather than the full broad, full auditorium thing. And I would talk to these girls and we would talk about like how do you gain your voice and your power and your self-esteem? And it would always start with like silence in the room because no one would be brave enough to be like, I don't know how to find my voice. Maybe I have one. And we get down to the nitty gritty. And by the end of it, these girls be like, oh, I can talk. I can voice my opinion. I'm like, yes, but you can't be rude, but you can voice your opinion. There's a difference.
That is important work. That is so wonderful because also they're in the room and they're seeing other people are like them. So they have a sense of, gee, I'm not alone. And there are other people like me. And that itself is empowering, to feel like, wow, other people share the same thoughts as I do. That's really helpful. Well, bless your heart for doing that.
It's so much fun.
Yeah. It's rewarding, isn't it?
It is. It's rewarding. And it's like, and I bet we can relate to like when you're teaching those girls their walks and that it's thus afterwards, you're like, oh, that's a whole different person. I helped that person grow. And oh, cool. Like that felt nice. They look great. They feel great. I feel great for doing that. It's great for everybody.
Everybody. And there's such a need for it. Wow.
Yeah, there's definitely a need. So what would you say would be some of your most rewarding moments from the modeling industry or even the acting industry or your career? So to speak?
Oh, when I had a Vogue cover, that was like